How do I clean this shit up, bro? This is a new angle for y'all. I know y'all ain't seen me like that. Piper new angle be like, yo. Anyways, hi.
My name is.
Who? Howdly diddly do neighbors, welcome back to another Pied Piper video. Today I got diabolical AIDS and died. Psych, Piper never dies. So today I'm gonna do a video that I do, like, you know, I diddly do, diddy really did it do. Today I'm gonna do a video I wanted to do for a while. It seems like all of my videos start like that. Today I'll be reviewing one of the comics. So while I was gone and while I'm being gone, one thing that I have definitely been doing is I've been reading comics, and I've read a lot of romance comics, and I just decided to make a video. I'm absolutely winging it. I have all my notes on here. And I wrote about it. So today I'm gonna be talking about It Strikes a Chord. You know, I'm ripping the condom off. I'm going in full raw dog. I have no fucking clue what I'm doing. I have some text, I have some pictures. I should be alright, okay? Anyways, It Strikes a Chord is a comic written by Annie Krul. Annie Krul. Annie Krul. Are they from Sweden? Wait. Oh wait, they have an Instagram. Must be from Sweden. It's like not everybody wants to know their location. I guess she's Swedish. Annie Krul. I'm actually just making fun of a woman's name. Anyways, enough with the harassing woman shtick. That stop being funny. So basically, this is a comic about, you know, text and pictures. Yeah. Basically, this comic has words and pictures. Now the comic isn't done, and of course, this has spoilers, so if you don't want to get fucked up on the spoilers, want to go read it, links in the description. Go check out the creator, give them all the support, and please don't call them Annie Krul, because that sounds really mean if you constantly say it like that. This comic is a comic set in the 2000s. The main characters are Steven and Charlie, and they fall in love. This comic is a really cool comic. I like a comic. Now, I read this comic pretty quickly, and not that long of a time, not that long of a period. It currently has, what, 51 pages? I don't know how you really call it. Yeah, I mean, I really like it. I guess let's now get into the nitty-gritty. Basically, Steven is a part of the band called Feral Distortion. And basically, after their big tours, he's like, you know what? I'm going back home after not being a long while at home. Steven comes back, and lore happens. And from that basic point, he gets close with his family, he meets Charlie, right, and rekindles relationship, and stuff like that, right? One part that I really like is, as I said, the timer. This is the 2000s, so it's really cool, just like seeing Lil Nas It, like a cool flip phone. I should actually find what flip phone is this specifically talking about, but because I don't know if in that year Nokia released that type of a flip phone, but I'll actually fact check you on that. This comic may be just all fraud. I should actually start these videos like how PewDiePie starts meme reviews. Fuck's sake. So the time period is really nice. I mean, I like it. It's a cool nod, and it gives your mind a lot more imagination thinking how it happens. I like this time period. It's also a time period that I don't see a lot in these comics, to be honest, but I don't know. It's just a cool time period, you know. The world was changing a lot in that time. A lot of things were changing and stuff like that. This also features the classic good old tale of a songwriter or a band trying to express themselves while a label wants all the money from them. You know, we've all heard that. While reading this and while reading those parts about the label, I often thought about the Beach Boys. And in my opinion, it's a really cool comparison. How, you know, basically the label wants to put the thing that they think is popular on the band while the band wants to express himself. And up to the point where I've written, they finally record that big song, which is 100% themselves. Now, I don't know which part I specifically stopped reading, because I just wanted to script this and just test this type of video out, if I even like making it and if anyone watches it really. But I don't know what's the label really reactions, because I haven't gotten that far. I'll probably tell you what part I'm ended at. And it's a really good old tale. It really creates a lot of narrative in the story, you know. And also one thing that I love is how Steven, or Stevie, doesn't really matter. I mean, it kind of does matter. because, you know, Steven is what he likes being called, but earlier when he was younger, he was called Stevie, and he didn't like that because those were bad times. We're gonna get to that. I'm saying a lot of get to that because I have a lot of things I want to unravel and shoot it at once, right? And it's overall, like, really cool. I mean, honestly, I don't know, it's just a really nice way to create a story, in my opinion. It gives a lot of the band, or the main character, or one of the main characters, I would guess would say Steven, to progress and slowly grow into himself, which is really cool in my opinion. I always like that. So the label pressuring down on the artist type of storytelling formula, or whatever you could call it, it's really cool. I like it. I like reading about it in the Beach Boys. I like reading it in here. It's a really cool dynamic. One thing that almost every comic that features gay relationships has to talk about is, of course, homophobia. Now, a lot of them, honestly, that I've read for a while, either makes it a big central point, or completely acts like it doesn't exist, which don't take that as bad, right? Homophobia, of course, exists, but usually when they think about it like it doesn't exist at all, it's like more like a fantasy world, right? And that, to be honest, is a really cool thing about these comics. It gives a lot more tension, right? Like, what would the parents think, right? And from what I've understood so far, and maybe, you know, we'll get something more revealed, Steven had, you know, a pretty homophobic father. I mean, bro, name a motherfucker who doesn't have a homophobic father. And honestly, I like how it's also represented, how it affects him. Like, obviously, when you were younger, if your dad, like, said something, you kind of, like, you know, you took from it. A lot of times in life, you don't know how similar you really are to your parents, right? And it's really interesting to see how, when he was younger, right? The reason why Steven and Charlie had the split when they were younger was because Charlie confessed to Steven, but Steven was like, gay bad, and said no, although he was feeling the same. Obviously, they were just kids, and now they're retangling their relationship, right? One thing that also made it a lot more messier was the fact that one of the main songs that gave Feral Distortion their popularity was Drag You, a song that Charlie thought about was about him. Actually, it was about the father, but the label kind of forced it for it to being a partner. It's weird, but it's a good way to explain it, I guess. I would also really love to hear how, like, an artist would interpret these songs, because I think reading this comic you could turn on the sound, but I don't do that. Like, I read these at 3 a.m. I'm not gonna be fucking listening to that. I'm sorry, bro. I mean, obviously, I can't ignore the other bandmates of Feral Distortion. I can't be honest, completely forgot their names, and while I was preparing this, I didn't write them down, because I've never done anything like this. Like, I always wanted to, like, make this type of video, but I haven't done, so excuse me for one of my faults. This is the very first, or I guess second type of video I've ever created. But one thing that I like about the bandmates is that they are really supportive. It's always, like, really cool in these stories to see the person get attacked. It's really cool for people that get treated badly because, you know, they like men or they're queer, right? Get, like, some support in these stories. It's really, again, a nice plot point that I like reading about. It's really wholesome as well. I just like it, okay? Thing that also adds a lot of intricacy to the story is Steven's family. Now, Steven's family has, of course, complex. As I mentioned, the dad left them and was homophobic, you know. Peak father, what can I say? But one thing that also adds a lot of spice to it is the fact that Steven hadn't seen his family, or didn't call a lot, for 5 years while he was on the Feral Distortion popularity, right? And visiting back, basically all their family are like, bro, the fuck's up, right? They wanna, you know, get to see him, spend time with him because they hadn't seen him, right? But Steven feels like they're strangers, right? And one thing that's really cool to see is how it slowly they get, again, more close together through the story, right? Comparing to the when they first started, and then, you know, it's gone, right? It's really cool, honestly. And a big plot point reason is, you know, Charlie himself. Charlie's the gay chicken, right? It's always in these stories, like, it's always in these, like, queer romances where there's one hell of fucking fruity character, bro. And this one doesn't have that. I mean, I've written, like, comics that does have one, but in this comic, it doesn't, which I actually kind of like, in my opinion. It's a trope that's been, I think, kind of overdone, but I don't really hate it, honestly. I think hate is a strong word, and I wouldn't really use it here. But basically, Charlie, after that happened, he bought a bookstore. He started reading books, and another element to Steven's growth was Steven reading books, because the way they connected was Steven was escaping from a crowd. He ran to the bookstore and met Charlie. Of course, the first time they meet after years was awkward. After what Charlie presumed, Steven wrote a song basically dissing him, and, you know, all that bad jazz, right? And one thing that I like is how Steven visited again and just bought Winnie the Pooh, and I liked that at first it was just like a fig to like, not really pay that much attention. But if you think about the whole plot and the way it goes, the books that Stephen reads shows how he also grows up. It's a kind of a coming of an age story, right? It's really nice to see like he went from Winnie the Pooh to like more complex books. I think it was The Great Gatsby there or something like that, and it's really interesting and I really liked it. I kind of compare myself with Charlie because I read a lot of romance, I guess romance comics too, not novels. I mean, I've read a book, I think it was Brokeback Mountain, right? It was a cool book. Because it's a bottle of crack. Oh, why am I saying about bottle? And I like how also Steven, from going from a person that doesn't read at all, goes to a person who reads, which is also really cool to see. When I read comics, I often find like some parts of me lingering in them, right? Like, I also never used to read anything at all, and now basically every day I wake up or go to bed, I read comics, right? It's pretty cool. And the last thing I want to touch on is the art. In my opinion, a comic that wants to be great has to have a great story, great characters, and great art. And honestly, this does all of it really well, in my personal opinion. I really enjoy the art. I think it's not a crazy art style. I'm currently looking at some pictures here, but it's one that's memorable. It's not. I mean, I think I like it. I don't know. I like it. I'll just say how it is. I just like it. But yeah, I guess that could be the overall of the comic so far. Of course, it's ongoing. It's not finished, as I said. I really enjoyed the comic. There's no real points I would critique, right? There was no real points where, gritted my teeth at something. It's just a great read. Most episodes, or whatever you call them, are fairly long enough, right? So it's not like, when you would get an update, it would be like 2 slides, which I don't like when comics do that. But yeah, it's a great comic. I like it. It's a classic coming of age, I think, or like Steven growing up, stuff like that, right? And rekindling relationships with his family and Charlie, right? Basically, the way that story gets up so far is they confess, right? A really cool scene or cute scene at the beach, right? I like that scene. And they tingle their relationships together, and Steven, being pressured from the label to write a song, finally writes a song at the last moment. It's a love song towards Charlie. And guess what the fucking song's called? It's called All I Wanna Do. When I first read that, I didn't even think of a music. I thought about the Beach Boys track. I legit thought bro was gonna copy the Beach Boys. I mean, honestly, that's a great love song, If you're gonna copy that love song, fuck bro, good luck. But yeah, this was an awesome comic. I loved it. It's amazing. I really like the story. It's a cool story. It has great characters, great art, and a great, amazing story. I think story is this comic's strong point. Sorry for pointing middle finger at you. It's this comic's strong point. It's definitely the story. It's a really cool, artist fighting against evil thing that was to get money out of the artist type of story, right? It's also a coming age story. It's also, rekindling relationships type of story, And I really like the comic. And yeah, I can't wait where it goes further. I'll finish the couple of last episodes. I'm gonna call them episodes. I haven't read the finale, so I may be missing something insanely crazy right now, because I can see Steven is crying right now, and yikes. But yeah, I liked it. I hope you also like this. I don't know how many episodes will I do reviewing comics. I read a lot of comics, and what I wanted to kind of do is like write reviews for them, right? And one thing that I can't do to no type of media is rewatch it or reread it. I can't. I'll just get bored. I can't re-experience it. Like, fuck. When I first read Castle Swimmers, bro, that's like busting a nut after 12 hours of edging. Like, it was amazing, man. It was great. Sorry for the grotesque explanation, but I just really loved it, okay? It was amazing. I had fun, okay? Anyways, thank you very much for watching. Remember, thank my Patreons. A diepe brev aan muzikant. And yeah, like and subscribe. And yeah, random item in the room, brofist. Since I got the new camera, I'm not gonna throw things at my camera, bro. Like, what do you think I am, bro? Come on. Come on, bro. What do you think I am? No, I'm not throwing out. You really thought brofist. Yeah, get that freak sound in.